Guys, I think it's time to give up on the Eze dream. Doesn't look like he's coming to Arsenal. David Ornstein says that Tottenham appear to be in a one-horse race for the Palace star. And it's disappointing. I just keep feeling like we are always one player, more often than not, an achievable player, a gettable player, away from saying, bam, everything's done. Now, a little bit of a spoiler, there's a Goonerverse podcast coming out with Sharoy. He feels how I feel, which is Eze as the missing piece. I'd be saying, what a great window. What a great window. Right now, I think it's a good window. I don't understand it. Let me give you the news, because this is ultimately a news channel, right? So, David Ornstein has come out and said that Tottenham's still working on the Palace deal. I saw one of the aggregators pull from the articles that he sort of says it's a one-horse race. Now, there had been some ITKs and some people saying that, Arsenal is still a preferred destination for Eze. This is, by the way, days ago. This isn't today. And that, there is a degree of waiting to see what Arsenal's stance is, but Arsenal aren't making moves. I remember FK of the Latte firm asked a question on Twitter to Kieran Maguire. Kieran Maguire is a football finance expert. And essentially what came out of it was that Arsenal are not in PSI issues. We have a lot of headroom and could do the Eze deal if we wanted. David Ornstein has since come in and said that PSR isn't a concern, but the UEFA financial rules are a concern. Okay, it doesn't really matter because Arsenal Football Club are able to do this Eze deal if we want. And if we wanted to this summer is the crucial thing before other business got done. And let's not go into that in more detail, but you get what I'm trying to say. Arsenal could have made Eze a priority, and I find it extraordinary that we didn't. All the talk throughout the summer was that Arsenal wanted to add 3 forwards, someone who could play centrally, out wide and up front, and we haven't got that player who can play centrally. But what's beautiful about Eze is that ability to play on the left. So we answered 4 positions in 3 players with the Gyökeres, Madueke and Eze if we did that final deal, but Arsenal aren't looking to do it. I'm not going to keep going over and over it. You guys know my thoughts. I think it's really poor that we couldn't, take a player like Eze and mould him into the kind of touchline winger we'd have liked him to be. He's got as much pace as a Trossard, if not more. He's got more guile and craft on the ball than Trossard and Martinelli put together. He could have done something out on that left-hand side, but we could have tweaked the dynamics, having him on the inside, covering for Ødegaard too if he ever couldn't play or wasn't in great form, and we could have done something different with Calafiori bombing up and down the pitch. But no, that's not what Arteta wants to do. Or maybe it is what he wants to do, but the club aren't allowing him to do it. And once again, we're one step shorter of where I think we should be. And you know what it is, right? We could go in the last days of the window and do something extraordinary and sign a Rodrigo or sign an Anthony Gordon. I think Semenyo's been linked. Lookman's deal to Inter Milan has fallen through. We might sign another left winger. And I would be happy if we did, because we need to elevate ourselves in that area of the pitch too. But I don't understand why we wouldn't go for the versatility when we've always championed versatility in our recruitment. Why we wouldn't go for the versatility that allows us to solve 2 positions in one and allows us to mix up what we can do tactically massively. I've talked about this over and over again. You must be sick of me saying it, but I just don't understand it. And Tottenham are going to go add another great ball carrier to their squad where they've already got plenty. Where are our ball carriers? And if we are going to play more frantic, back and forth basketball style this season, if we are going to go more punch for punch, if we are going to be more direct, why would you not have players like Eze who can really make the most out of that kind of situation and that kind of game state? But no, it's not what we're looking to do. Now, Gunnerblog came in. There's a running joke on Twitter that Gunnerblog comes in with the typically pouring cold water on the transfer hype in his reports. But the reality is he can't make up what's not happening. And Arsenal aren't doing anything. We're 6 signings deep. They want to supposedly focus on sales. And he's mentioned that Kivior, with a potential move to Porto, isn't really moving anywhere. Stuttgart want Fabio Vieira. I saw some reports that we want 25 million for him, whereas they're looking to pay near 17 million, including the add-ons. Reece Nelson remains locked in talks, or Arsenal remain locked in talks with Fulham over what might happen there. You've still got Albert Sambi Lokonga, you've still got Carl Hein. And these players, none of them are particularly close to move as things stand on the 19th of August with about 2 weeks or just under left to go the window. So here's my take on it all. Don't bother. And I'm being deadly serious. Don't bother. Keep them. And here's why I say that, okay? The first fundamental question is, are all these players I've mentioned, Zinchenko too, are they all so useless that they can't do anything for Arsenal all season? No, I don't think they are. Albert Sambi Lokonga has played a full season of Premier League football for Luton, looked okay at Palace. When we used him in the first season or two, I thought he looked okay. I never understood the hate for this player. I've seen far worse footballers play for Arsenal. I'm being deadly serious. Is he at the level we need? Absolutely not. But as a third number 6, just kind of sitting there, guys, I'm not saying keep him. I'd rather get 10, 15 million for him and on we go. But Arsenal need to set a standard in the market. They need to set a standard and a precedent that you're not going to get what you want from us, that we're going to adopt a more Liverpool-Chelsea style model when it comes to selling, and we will hold on to our players. We will absolutely hold on to our players if we don't get the value we believe we deserve. And I think if Arsenal if they're not going to get Rodrigo, if there's PSR headroom, if, basically, and the reason I mentioned the Rodrigo thing, if we're not going to get him in terms of needing kind of funds to kind of make that happen, we're not looking to add a 10 regardless, because we're not trying to throw our hat in the ring for Eze. I just think don't bother. Just keep these players. Zinchenko can play a part next season. Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, the old Premier League game. Lokonga can just be a player on the squad. He can be in the squad when we travel away in the FA Cup or in the Carabao Cup against a team in the Championship, and Zubimendi can just put his feet up at home and relax. You may as well get that out of them. Reece Nelson, quite frankly, has looked brighter the last 2 pre-seasons than Martinelli has done in his last full campaign or 2. But keep him. Keep him. See if he earns his place. I'm not even joking. I'd rather not, people. But if we're not going to get the right money, if we're not going to get the right deals, at some point we have to set a precedent. Jakub Kiwior isn't even in the conversation with Nelson, Lokonga, Karl Hein, Fabio Vieira. He's just good enough. Keep him. Fundamentally keep him. If we let him go, then we're really weakening ourselves. Especially after Gabriel only had surgery last season. We want to be more careful on that front. Fabio Vieira, again, was he ever good enough? No, not for where we want to be. He's not a talentless footballer. He probably still has one of the best final passes in the final third of any player in our squad. I mean, actually, when you look at some of the openings and moments we had against Man United, I think Vieira gets most of those passes right, because that's the thing he does well. What he didn't have was the physicality, the guile on the ball, the power. There was a lot lacking, which was disappointing. He never evolved and grew in the way we'd have hoped. But he can do quite a lot with the football. And I'm really disappointed that we, A, haven't either been able to move him on, or B, fulfilled that potential. But then how often have we seen him play in Odegaard's role? Barely. He's been chucked left 8, right wing, you name it. So, again, keep him. And, people don't, this isn't a video of me trying to convince you that these are good footballers. This isn't a cope video. This isn't me saying, yeah, these are really good players. Don't worry, we can get something out of them. I'm not. I'm saying we need to set a precedent in the market, and we have a lot of competitions we want to compete in, and a lot of these guys are good enough to make up the squad to get through these games. They're more than good enough. So just keep him. Keep him, and say to everyone, say to the world of football, if you want our players, we know their true value, and you're not going to get them on the cheap just because we are looking to sell. That would be how I approach it. I do think quite a few of these players will go, but they're not even close to leaving. So what does that tell you about the demand and the fees that we're kind of working around? That ultimately it's all going to be a bit underwhelming at the end of it. But let's hope Arsenal maybe do something crazy and go for Rodrigo. Wouldn't that be great? But I'm not so convinced that's going to happen. Let's see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. If you want a breakdown on the Man United game, I've done one on the Goonerverse, and there will be a Goonerverse podcast with me and Sharoy. It's returning. I'm really, really excited. Yeah, we discuss United and everything around Arsenal and some details, so have a look at that. All right, catch you in a bit, guys.